Hello friends, Namaskaram. Myself is Dr. Jinesh Soni. Today we will discuss Section 7 Capital A of PCET. I request all of you to maintain the proper notebook. I am also maintaining to enhance my information or knowledge about the subject, and apart from that we have to note down the key aspects of Section 7A of PCET. I am not discussing about Section 7 small a, I am discussing on capital A. Basically, the title says taking undue advantage, to be noted. To influence public servant by corrupt or illegal means, which further includes by exercise of personal influence. So basically, by the bare perusal of section 7 capital A, it is quite clear that it is concerning with taking of undue advantage. Apart from that, it is concerned to influence the public servant, and the means may be either corrupt or illegal, which further includes exercise of personal influence. Now we are coming on the ingredients. For this we have to study the Barrett. Please open the Barrett. The section 7 capital A of PCET starts with a word whoever. That is very important to be noted. It means whether you are a public servant or a private person, it is totally immaterial. But you must not be a public servant who is about to be induced to discharge the public duty improperly or illegally. So whenever a person, either a private person or a public servant, second criteria is that accept or obtain or attempt to obtain. To understand the SAT protocol, we have to study the judgment of Honorable Supreme Court Neeraj Datta versus State of NCT. Judgment is pronounced on 15th of December 2022 and further on 17th of March 2023. In both judgments, it is specified that demand is sine qua non for the prosecution of public servant under Section 7, subclause A of PCET. A means small a, not capital A. To constitute demand, there must be an offer on the part of complainant regarding undue advantage, and there must be voluntarily acceptance to the said offer. If the said protocol is absent in that scenario, the public servant could not be prosecuted. Please note down this in. So we have to apply the SAT formula. So basically, the concerned public servant is to be induced by the person who takes the undue advantage voluntarily. So if the element of voluntarily taking is absent in that scenario, Section 7 capital A of PCET would not be applicable to that person who takes or about to take the undue advantage to induce the public servant. Third criteria is that he must take the same from another person. The person may be a juristic person or a natural person. To be noted that the said person who gives the undue advantage would be termed as victim or complainant. The person taking the undue advantage can take the same either for himself or for any other person, and that other person might be a natural person or a juristic person. But the taking should be as a motive or re-award, to be noted. The word motive or re-award is also used in section 20 of PCET, but despite of that, the presumption of section 20 of PCET would not be applicable for cases of section 7 capital A. It is applicable only for cases of section 7. And apart from that, in section 7 subclause B of PCET, B means small b, the word re-award is used. But here we are having two words, motive or reward. And apart from that, the taking must be to induce a public servant. Induce means to compel him to do. So that may be by the virtue of corrupt means or illegal means or by the exercise of personal influence. So what we are going to cause? We are going to compel the concerned public servant to perform or cause performance of a public duty, either improperly or dishonestly. We are going to cause him to forbear or to cause forbearance of such public duty by such public servant or by another public servant. In that scenario, section 7 capital A of PC Act would be applicable. To understand the concept, we have to take one important example. Mr. A inter alia communicate with Mr. B with a promise or assurance that he knows Mr. C to have the work done of Mr. B from Mr. C. Mr. A demanded and finally take the undue advantage of rupees 10 lakh. There is evidence on the record that there is a nexus between Mr. A and Mr. C, and in consequence of undue advantage, he inter alia caused or induced Mr. C to do the work of Mr. B. In that scenario, we could say that Mr. A would be liable for prosecution under section 7 capital A of PC Act because he take the undue advantage as a motive or reward to induce the public servant to exercise the corrupt or illegal means to perform his public duty. If the undue advantage would not be taken, then definitely the public servant would not perform the public duty in favor of Mr. B, either illegally or improperly or dishonestly. To be noted that the offence under section 7 capital A of PC Act is required to be proved by the prosecution beyond reasonable doubt. Number 2, there is no presumption of section 20 of PC Act, and apart from that, there is no application of section 19 of PC Act. To be noted that there is no application of section 17A of PC Act. In addition to this, the prime requirement is that if a person is prosecuted under section 7 capital A of PC Act, the public servant must be on record. In isolation, the said person could not be prosecuted. So if you are having a FIR in which you are prosecuted as per section 7 capital A of PC Act in isolation and there is no public servant, then you may challenge the said FIR being illegal, perverse and abuse of process. So I think that in the present class I am totally able to cause all of you to understand the basis of section 7 capital A of PC Act. If you are having any query, you may send message to me. See you in the next video. Till then, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.